Thanks, Hal. Thanks, Christine. This is a great day for the city of Phoenix. A couple years ago, USAA did a study of the most veteran-friendly communities in the entire United States of America. Phoenix finished second. Now, a lot of people thought that was pretty good, but it's not. We want to be number one. Pittsburgh, watch out, here we come. And today's announcement, this initiative is going to go a long way to help this community, our community, to be the most veteran-friendly city and community in the entire United States of America. So today we are here to announce an exciting new and unprecedented public-private effort that closes the circle between veterans leaving their military service and what they're going to do with the remainder of their lives. We are here to provide help for our veterans at the other end of the spectrum. We do a lot with veteran homelessness in the city of Phoenix. It's a very tragic issue. We've had a lot of success in that regard. We want to continue to do well in that regard. Today we're here to talk about that other end of the spectrum, how we can help our veterans find good jobs, quality employment, so they can support themselves and their family as they are transitioning into the workforce, where, as we all know, with the right training and guidance, they can be the very best asset any local company could possibly have. So it is my honor today to help celebrate the launch of the Veterans Economic Communities Initiative here in Phoenix. This is a partnership, a public-private partnership, an effort by the Department of Veteran Affairs in partnership with local communities like ours across the United States to promote economic success for those who have served our country. This initiative boils down to four key areas of focus: reintegration, education, jobs, and long-term economic success for our veterans and their families. So I want to thank the VA for choosing Phoenix as one of the first 25 communities across the United States to participate in this great initiative. There'll be 25 more launched in 2016, but Phoenix was selected for the very first cohort by the VA. The city is also pleased to collaborate locally with APS. APS and Don Brandt, thank you for you and your team for hosting us here today. The Arizona Department of Veteran Services, TriWest Healthcare Alliance, and the Arizona Coalition for Military Families. Let me tell you about our partners, because we brought the right people to the table. APS, under the leadership of Don Brandt, APS has made it their mission to place veterans at the forefront of all that they do. Last year, the Department of Defense presented this company, where we are having this event, APS, with the 2014 Freedom Award, recognizing their efforts to provide jobs for our military service men and women. That's the highest recognition granted to employers with exceptional support for Guard and Reserve employees. Veterans make up about 20% of the workforce here at APS. Congratulations, Don, to you and your team and your continued support for veterans. The Arizona Department of Veteran Services, our other great partner. The department will play a key role in this initiative because they grant services to veterans through 19 veterans benefit offices throughout the state of Arizona. The department helps connect veterans to benefits throughout our state. We want to make sure that every veteran in the state of Arizona gets every single benefit that they are allotted for to the fullest extent possible. It operates 2 skilled nursing veteran home facilities in Phoenix and Tucson to provide short and long-term care. TriWest Healthcare Alliance. Is there another company in this community that supports veterans here and across the country more than TriWest? I don't know of one. David McIntyre and TriWest have been a tremendous ally for our nation's heroes for nearly 20 years. TriWest partners with the VA to administer the patient-centered community care and Veterans Choice programs. TriWest is making positive difference in the lives of veterans and their health care throughout the United States of America. They have won awards for customer service and for providing access to high-quality health care. The Arizona Coalition for Military Families, a public-private partnership that has made tremendous strides supporting our military families in ways that haven't been done before. Thomas Winkle, thank you for being here today, for all you have done to build Arizona's statewide capacity for care and support of our service women and men, for veterans and their families. This initiative will really build upon the remarkable achievements of this coalition, what they have already done, the positive difference they have already made. And of course, our final speaker here today will be Rick Romley. Veterans in our community have no greater friend or ally or champion than our former county attorney. Rick Romley is a legend among the veteran community. not only for his outstanding public service in his own right, but also for his consistent advocacy on behalf of veterans wherever position he is in. Rick, thank you for all the work you have done, and thank you in advance for the work that we are going to ask you to do to help advance this very important initiative. Today, I'm confident we will create a sustainable collaboration that will open doors to education and careers for veterans and their families. Here's how it's going to work. Economic liaisons in each of the communities across the country selected for this prestigious program will work with government leaders, businesses, educational institutions, and nonprofit organizations to help build and grow an integrated network of support and resources for veterans and their families. Here in Phoenix, our economic liaison is Christine Gannon, who was at the podium just a moment ago. If you are a business owner in Phoenix, you're going to be hearing from her soon. If you're an educational institution in the Phoenix or the state of Arizona, you're going to be hearing from Christine. If you're a veteran looking for work and looking to advance your life and your family's lives, you're going to be hearing from Christine soon. If I have one message for our business community today, it's get to know this lady, get to know Christine, be a part of this great initiative. I encourage you to all to work with Christine as she connects public and private organizations that offer veterans education, training, employment in high skill, high pay, in-demand fields. And my message, last message, is to the employers of this city and of our region and across the state. We are counting on you to make this initiative work. The discipline, focus, and work ethic you will gain when you hire veterans, former military personnel, will pay for itself over and over and over again. So Phoenix is proud and honored that we were selected to participate in this great program, and we want to make sure that this initiative pays dividends, not only for the veterans that will benefit, for those employers, for those educational institutions. We're going to advance our economy because of this great initiative. Thank you for letting me say a few words here today. Look forward to working with you, Christine.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Next up, Colonel Wanda Wright, U.S. Air Force retired, and Department of Veteran Services.
Thanks, Al. Good morning, Mayor Stanton, and all these great veterans behind me. Could we give them a round of applause? And all the veterans in the room. And all of you that are friends of veterans. I really am so happy and I appreciate to be invited to this. This is to help to launch the Veteran Economic Communities Initiative, or VECI, and to express Governor Ducey's support for this initiative. Today marks the Phoenix launch of the new initiative, which builds upon a strong partnership between the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs, the Arizona Department of Veteran Services, and the Arizona Coalition of Military Families, as well as the City of Phoenix. And I would like to say that we do make a great team. When the VA announced it wanted to eliminate homelessness among veterans in 2009, the Arizona Department of Veteran Services put together the Arizona Action Plan to end homelessness among veterans. The plan coordinated the efforts of our state and local governments with those of partners in our community. Under the umbrella of the Arizona Coalition to End Homelessness, we identified the most vulnerable and chronically homeless veterans and provided them housing. Through the Federal Housing and Urban Development Veterans Affairs Supportive Housing Program, that's a mouthful, and what we also call HUD-VASH, working together, we eliminated chronic homelessness amongst our veterans in the city of Phoenix. Today we're here to use that same type of community partnership to promote economic success for our veterans. And as in many areas of concern of our state, the state of Arizona and the Metro Phoenix area are well ahead of the rest of the nation. Working with the Arizona Coalition for Military Families, Arizona PBS, and other community partners, we have launched the Arizona Roadmap to Veteran Employment, an initiative that aligns strongly with the goals of VECI. And since we're already ahead of the game, it makes sense for us to realize the goals of VECI by working through the Arizona Roadmap to Veteran Employment. Once again, we are on the right track. Let's build our community relationships and move forward together as we provide our veterans and their families with jobs and the quality of life that all veterans deserve. We really need to make sure that we do this. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Wright. Next up, Mr. Don Brandt, Chairman, President, and CEO of Arizona Public Service. Mr. Brandt.
Thank you, Hal, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here, and welcome to APS. Mayor Stanton, thanks for your remarks this morning, and thank everyone here at the podium this morning for what I expect will be a very positive initiative to support America's veterans as they transition back to civilian life. We must do more for those who have risked life and limb for their country as they bridge the gap from active duty into the civilian workforce. We owe them a debt of gratitude, much more than just a polite thank you. We owe them a job. As Mayor Stanton pointed out, one way our community can show that gratitude is to help them assimilate back into civilian life. I personally support what the VECI seeks to achieve, and the veteran employees have been a key part of our team here at APS for decades. With veterans composing just over 20% of our employees, I've seen firsthand the value they bring to the workforce. Veterans are dedicated, disciplined, and they have strong leadership and work ethic. However, they face challenges in transitioning back to the civilian workforce. The VICI initiative sets out to raise awareness of these issues and asks Phoenix employers to commit to welcoming veterans into their workforce. At APS, we have the Veteran Engagement Transition Retention Network, otherwise known as Veteran. With all the vets and engineers in this company, we have an acronym for anything and everything. And that's an employee network group that allows new veteran employees to interact with the more seasoned, experienced veterans within our workforce. I'm pleased to have some members of the veteran group here on stage with me today, as well as some veteran employees from TriWest. As Mayor Stanton mentioned, APS was a recipient of last year's Freedom Award, which is right here. Perhaps one of the greatest honors of my career was traveling back to Washington, D.C. last September with about a dozen of our vets to accept that award. It was a humbling experience, and I was honored to represent APS and all the men and women who have made the award possible. Just an incredible experience. We were in the main auditorium at the Pentagon with almost every 3- and 4-star general and admiral in the armed forces, and all of them came up to thank our team personally for what we've done. But we don't do what we do to get awards and praise, although those are kind of nice. We do it because it's good business, and we believe we have a moral obligation to support veterans. I spoke earlier about the qualities that veterans bring to the workforce, and here at APS, we've put those qualities at work serving our customers. Assisting veterans with their transition into the workforce is the least we can do for what they've done for us. I look forward to working with the team here and my colleagues in the Phoenix business community, as well as we go forward to strive to provide future opportunities for our nation's heroes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brandt. Boss. Next up, Mr. David McIntyre, President and CEO of TriWest.
Good morning, Mayor Stanton, ladies and gentlemen. It's a privilege to stand with you, the Department of Veterans Affairs, Valley employers, my friend Don Brandt, community leaders, and most importantly, veterans, whose service we all admire and whom we all owe both a debt of gratitude and a hand up and a hand out as they reach the doorstep of our community in Phoenix. It's a privilege to be here today to be part of the launch of the Veterans Economic Communities Initiative here in Phoenix, one of 25 cities across the country where it's being launched. I can't think of a more appropriate place for this to be launched. As the mayor said, Phoenix is number 2. It's not number 2 in terms of taking care of veterans. It's not number 2 in terms of being there for veterans. And we'll soon, as a community, displace the entity that sits at number 1. We at TriWest are proud to be headquartered in Phoenix, and we've been so for 20 years. And we're privileged to work alongside 6,300 healthcare providers in the community who are leaning forward all the way for veterans in this community at the side of the Department of Veterans Affairs and the hospital and doctors in this community that seek to take care of their care. That 20 years has given us great insight. It's given us insight about the community, but it's given us, more importantly, insight about those that serve, many of whom we're privileged to have in our own organization. Not only is the service of our fellow citizens, a few of whom are standing with here today, something that we all owe a debt of gratitude for, I would submit as an employer now of 20 years in hiring veterans, that we find individuals in the veterans community who are talented, they're dedicated, they're mission-driven, but most importantly, they want to be part of a team. That's what they did in uniform. And when they come into your team in a company, they will make that team stronger. We make them stronger by allowing them to be part of our team, and they make us stronger by being part of our team. Often what I hear from employers in the Valley and around the country, because we serve 28 states in the Pacific, is where do I find veterans? How do I locate them? Employers in the community have a tough time finding those that they'd like to hire. And then I often hear from veterans, how do I find employers? How do I get connected? That's what this is all about. At its core, it's about connection. And it takes a team of us to be able to make that work. A lot of work's been done in the city of Phoenix to make it number 2 in the space of supporting veterans. That's been led by the mayor, it's been led by employers, it's been led by community leaders, some of whom are here today and some of who preceded those of us that are here today. And I'm very excited that the Department of Veterans Affairs, led by the Secretary, would lean forward in collaboration and say, the rest of this mile takes us coming together as communities, locally, statewide, private sector, and federal government. Together, we have the ability to make this work. This sits in this city on the platform of what's already been done to try and drive the right roadmap to make this stuff work. Frankly, when it works, everybody wins. A veteran gets a job. A family of a veteran gets economic security. Organizations get the opportunity to have great people as part of their team. And the community becomes stronger. As a company, we're expanding a lot because we have the privilege of working at the side of VA in healthcare. That's all we do. So for some of you, you know what that means because a furnace lit off on April 11th of last year in this city. That furnace lit across the country. We serve 28 states in the Pacific. Yesterday, we finished a blueprint to scale our organization to go from what was 300 employees at the beginning of this year to 3,500 employees by September. We're adding 300 jobs in the city of Phoenix. If every one of those could be a veteran, I would be thrilled. And we pick cities where they line up with the Vecchi initiative. And those are the only cities we're going to go to. We get paid by the VA to serve at the side of VA, those that serve. We want to make sure that veterans in our organization have the opportunity to serve their fellow veterans and lean forward. But my friend Don Brandt, who serves in the leadership of the power company, feels the same way I do, because they're walking the talk. And what a privilege it is to have the opportunity to now stand at Don's side with another Arizona company that was recognized with the Freedom Award, because back in 2009, I was privileged to accept the same award on behalf of our company in honor of those that served at that time in our employ. Mr. Romley, Ms. Wright, all the veterans that we're privileged to stand with today, thanks for being the best among us. Thanks for your service. Thanks for what you do. Thanks for leaning forward. And I know that our colleagues, Don's and my colleagues in the employer community, look forward to opening our arms and inviting veterans forward that would like to join our teams as employers in our companies, make us stronger, make the community stronger, and we're excited about being here for the launch of VECI. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. McIntyre. Next up is Mr. Thomas Winkle, the Director of Community Engagement for the Arizona Coalition of Military Families. Thomas.
Thank you, Hal. Mayor Stanton, Director Wright, Don, Dave, Rick, really appreciate always being up here. And folks, this is an outstanding foundation of partnership, so I have nothing but hope for the future for what we can accomplish in the city of Phoenix. I'm pleased to represent the Arizona Coalition for Military Families, our state's public-private partnership focused on building the support for all service members, veterans, and families across the state. The coalition is honored to partner during the implementation of the Veterans Economic Communities of Interest, or VECI, I believe we are now calling it. Is that okay? Are we in there? Which aligns with the community's Arizona roadmap to veteran employment. Through these two efforts, we will engage, train, and support job seekers, employment service providers, employers, and the community in a way that will foster additional economic opportunity for our veterans and those that employ them. There are only a couple of key elements that I want to pass along today. One of those is that unemployed and underemployed service members, veterans, and their families are not a part of the problem or a part of the problem to be solved, but they are a solution that we are creating together that will result in a stronger workforce and stronger communities and a stronger state overall. And secondly, this is not simply about altruism, where companies are expected to hire solely because it is the right thing to do. It is the right thing to do, but rather focused on the value that these prospective employees can bring to the civilian workplace and how to accentuate that value for the employer. To that end, the Coalition and the Arizona Department of Veteran Services and our partners will offer training to promote the best practices for civilian workplaces as a part of our Arizona Veteran Supportive Employer designation. The training was in part pilot tested with every new supervisor in the city of Phoenix for the past 2 years. So thank you, Mayor Stanton, for allowing us to be able to do that. And for your service members, and for our service members, veterans, and their families, we encourage you to attend the civilian reintegration trainings that we affectionately call the Next Great Adventure. We are pilot testing that out at Luke Air Force Base right now, and we are receiving remarkable results from it that are allowing them to take full advantage of the massive amount of resources that are available to them today. It is a remarkable time that we are living in because we have so much available for service members, veterans, and their families. But those services are highly underutilized, and what we want to do is encourage each and every veteran who is out there who is feeling as if they are underemployed or unemployed, or their family members, please connect up with the good folks that are out there doing this amazing work. I would like to acknowledge the partners and the supporters of the Arizona Roadmap to Veteran Employment who will help advance the Veterans Economic Communities of Interest effort here in Phoenix, including the Governor's Office, the Arizona Department of Veteran Services, the Arizona League of Cities and Towns, ESGR, the Department of Labor, Arizona Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the Department of Economic Security, Workforce Connections, and really many, many others. With the spotlight that we are shining today and the partnership of the VA, the City of Phoenix, TriWest, APS, and the department, we will be able to do even more with the roadmap, and that, for me, is incredibly exciting. The question that we are asking the community today is, what part will you and your organization play in this collaborative effort? We look forward to partnering and making this effort a success for our veterans, their families, and those that employ them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Winkle. Can't you just feel the energy in the room here this morning? Really something. Our last speaker today is Mr. Rick Romley, the former Maricopa County attorney and a longtime national advocate for veterans' causes. Mr. Romley.
Almost wanted to salute the Admiral, but first of all, let me thank you for coming today. I thank the mayor. Phoenix, in my eyes, is not number two, it is number one, and has always tried to improve the environment for veterans. And of course, our new director of the Department of Veteran Services, Wanda Wright, Don, Mr. McIntyre, who I've known for years, who's very well respected in the veterans community, and Tom, who does such great work. You know, my comments this morning are to try to bring this full circle, to try to, give life as to why this is important to a veteran. And, I will share my comments, but the veterans behind me, the many veterans I know that are in the audience joining us today, they can tell you their stories as well. But I think that where we should probably start is just to take a moment and explain what it's like to be in the military. I think that most of you know that the military is a place where those individuals believe in service above self, that they want to serve their country, and they are willing to go into harm's way. And as tumultuous of a life as that may be, the service provides so many different things. It provides training, provides a job. You know where your next meal is coming from. You're not going to be sleeping out on the streets. You may be in a ditch, we've been there. But the military provides stability and training and leadership that is, in my opinion, is probably one of the best institutions in the world. But then they transition out of the military. And think of that for a moment. You leave the military, and most are in their early 20s, mid-20s, and they're questioning, where's my job? Will I be able to put food on the table? Can I pay my rent this month? And then on top of that, we're in a time of conflict. You walk away, and if you've been engaged in the conflict, you have all of those difficulties of perhaps losing your best friend that you were serving with, or you come home with very serious health issues from being wounded in a war, as I was. That instability, that uncertainty is so difficult for the veteran. And that's why this initiative is so critical. It enhances the ability for veterans transitioning out of the service to continue on with their education, to seek meaningful employment and a career, and to advance. I took advantage of that when I came out. I was enlisted, very seriously wounded, and I continued my education at ASU, got my law degree. In fact, my first job as a lawyer was with the city of Phoenix. And it allowed me to continue on to a wonderful career. And I say to the employers that are out there, look at your veteran. There is no better place to seek qualified individuals that have leadership skills, that are trained and are committed to what they do. This initiative has such great potential. And we know all of the difficulties. 22 veterans a day are committing suicide. They just want a job. They just want some security, and they want some stability in their lives. We owe that to them. And I ask all of the community business leaders to become engaged here. So I thank you for that. And I thank the veterans out here. I know so many of you. You've always given. So thank you very much.